Yo, 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 what's going on? What's going on? It's your boy, Pastor Ron. Welcome to Getting Day Gospel. Today's a Knicks Day Thursday. Knicks Tape Thursday, excuse me. It's pretty exciting to be an NBA fan, right? It's the end season tournament, all that good stuff. Thank you for all of you who are listening, and the numbers are steadily growing. Thank you for all those who are sharing, who are following, who are commenting on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. It means a lot, and I thank you very much for your support. Um, Many of you guys who follow me know that I'm a huge Knicks fan. Though it's difficult, I'm a huge Giants fan, and I'm a huge Manchester United fan. Those are three teams that I pretty much cover on this podcast. I'm also a Mets fan, and playoff time I'm a Rangers fan. But the three teams that I'm the most emotionally invested in are Manchester United, the Knicks, of course, and the Giants. And as I look at sports and the landscape of sports, I last week watched last Sunday, I watched the Eagles get slapped by the 49ers, which I predicted. And you watch the quality of performances. You watch how these teams play. Last year, we saw how Manchester United sat here and went on a top four run. They won a Carabao Cup. And how people sat here was like, hey, Manchester United is back. We're back. We're great. We won. We're here. Next year, league title. And I would constantly say, hey, guys, pump the brakes because we're not playing well. We're fortunate to win a lot of these games. Same thing I said about the Eagles for the last few weeks. Even prior to that, I was like, honestly, my critique of the Eagles has been that since last year. I didn't think they were a great team last year. It's just that they feasted on a bad schedule. Same thing with the Giants. The Giants were not a good team. They weren't even a playoff team. But we had a weak schedule, and we were able to take advantage of that and to sit here and be able to win the teams that were before us. So, and the reason why I'm going on this long soliloquy is I want to open about the Knicks. And Knicks last year beat the Cavs in the first round. I was excited. I was happy. Then we faced Miami, and reality snuck in that we are not there yet. We're an average team. Against good teams, we will always lose. And why I'm talking about this, because I want to go forth by saying that I think winning is overrated. Winning is overrated. And you may say, "Hey, Ron, this is why we play the game. You play to win. You play to have a victory. Why else, do you play?" Because you could win and still be a bad team. You could, like, winning sometimes cures all, not cures, and some people are winning causes you to forget about the issues. One of the things I live my life by, and one of the ones I teach and I preach, is that often the greatest enemies of growth is success. That you sit there and you're successful at something, and because you're so successful, this causes you to ignore the various warts over your game, over your life, over your profession. Just because I have a good quarter does not mean that I'm good. Just because, and I talk about this because you have people sit here and foolishly saying, "Hey, Julius Randle's an all-star. Julius Randle is, we got to respect Julius Randle because he's Eastern Conference Player of the Week." Julius Randle is not a good basketball player. He's not a good basketball player. Guys, listen, he's not a good the guy that was in New Orleans and LA prior to coming to, that's who he really is. He just does bully ball. He's constantly around the ball because he plays in a system where Tibbs has his favorites, and when he has his favorites like Derrick Rose, like Jimmy Butler and those guys, he sits there and plays them so much, so they can't help but have great numbers. But if you analyze his game, if when you sit there and slow the game down, it's more of a half court and you're forced to play the game well, you're forced to execute, he struggles, a la the Atlanta series a couple years back. So I'm tired, and and that goes with the Eagles. You have Eagles fans. I'm just like, yo, guys, you're not playing well. You're a drop pass in KC away from losing that game. You're a made field goal away by Buffalo from winning that game. So, but we're 10-1. We're I don't know. I don't care what 10-1. But 10-1 is cool. But there's issues with your team, and you finally come against a team that catches the ball, that does not commit any unsightly turnovers, and the very same things that you did in the previous weeks, but you won. You want to sit here and and critique, but these issues were there all the time, and because they won games, they chose to minimize it. They chose to ignore it. They chose to say these issues are invalid. But when these things were rearing their ugly heads the entire time. So and you go and at the very heart of this is the whole LeBron versus MJ debate. All these whenever these MJ stands are stuck with an argument or in a corner with an argument in this debate, what do they talk about? 6-0. 6-0 in the finals. 6 for 6. So the only reason why MJ is better than LeBron is because MJ was fortunate enough to be part of teams that were able to go undefeated in finals. That, someone argued that their competition that he played was a lot weaker. So therefore, but because of that means he's better than LeBron James. When MJ has not defeated a team as good as those Warrior teams, even without Kevin Durant, that LeBron defeated. Never played a team as good as that. Never played a team as good as the Spurs teams that LeBron had to go against. So when you talk about 6 for 6, or should we even go deeper? Not to be to making excuses. LeBron had his very first finals run when he played the Warriors. Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt in that series. Early on in the series, I believe like game 1, and in that series, LeBron averaged a triple-double. He destroyed the team so bad that they had to give the guy who guarded him the MVP, despite the fact he allowed LeBron to average a triple-double, where many folks thought LeBron was actually the MVP in that series. But he won, and maybe it's possible that because of Twitter, because of social media, because of podcasts, that's the reason why there's so much pressure to win, and you get mad when teams go and switch teams because teams have a better chance of winning. You get mad when super teams are formed because we do overemphasize winning. We do sit here and believe that winning cures all. Winning hides all, but winning does not cure all. Unless you're the team that, end of the day, wins the championship. But you can't sit here. I don't care if you go 100-0. If you have some issues that you're not addressing, it's going to eventually catch up to you. And we see that happen to the Eagles. In football, we see that's happened to Arsenal. That's been my argument with Arsenal all the time. Yeah, woohoo, late second, 96-minute goal. Declan Rice, great. But why did you have to get to that point over and over again with teams where you're relying on late goals? Same thing happened last year, and it got to the point the pressure ramped up towards the end of the season. They could not finish the deal. Why? Because winning covered all their mistakes. Winning didn't cover it. they chose to ignore their mistakes because of winning. Why do I begin with this 10-minute rant? It's because I talk about our Knicks. Our New York Knicks, because of what they did last year, is our fan base is a bit delusional because we believe that we're close to a championship. And when you talk to people, we talk to the people at MSG, you talk to the stands, the people that are blinded. You want to sit there, here we got to the second round next year. We're this place in the Eastern Conference. We have this record. No, we're not a good team. We're not a good team at all. If I looked at that, I watched that game. Knicks and Bucks in season tournaments, right? I watched this game. I sat there and I was like, yo, this is a madness, bro. That this team playing this way, if you're really gonna try to tell me that this team is a good team, then you know what? I'm bugging out, bro. If you're telling me that this team is a good team, I'm bugging out. I think Knicks have I think their records versus their records against teams over 500 is like 2-8. They're 10-0 with teams over 500 and worse, but they're not doing well at all. Put it that way, against teams that are over 500. So we sit here and we want to talk about stats and teams being together, but if you watch the team play, they are not a good team. They beat the teams they're supposed to. They beat the teams that they should. But at the end of the day, if you look at the Knicks, they're not a good team, man. We can't sit here and play the Milwaukee Bucks and allow them to shoot 60% from three. 23 from 38 from 3-point range. We can't do that first and foremost, especially when we're 7 for 23 from 3-point range at 30%. if we're doing that, we have no chance to win. We have no chance to win. And that's why we're 2-8 against teams that are over 500. Because teams over 500 can shoot the ball, play the game right, and we can't stop them. This is Thibodeau. He is great in the regular season because he plays these players that are not good, but they're high energy, high hustle players. Hartenstein, Quentin Grimes, guys like that. High energy guys. But you get to a point where that stuff does not work. When you get to the playoffs, it's about executing, coaching, and it's about talent. And these high hustle. Tell me the last time a high hustle team won a championship. Every single time a team has won, it's because they had a great player. Even the Mavs who won, they still had Dirk. And it had a great coach, and Rick Carlisle that was sitting there and helping them execute. So when you sit there and talk about, all this nonsense, it makes you realize, like, yo, Knicks we're nowhere close because we're the Mavs, right? You said the Mavs haven't won anything. You know why? Because they've always been that 4th and 5th seed, that team that sat there in the middle of the Western Conference, able to hopefully win a first round series, but then lose in the second round. It may go on a lucky run, but at the end of the day, they were too bad to advance, but too good to get a high draft pick for them to go forward. So I think we have to kind of pump the brakes and not allow winning to cause us to be irrational. We can't allow winning to cause us to be delusional. I know what's making the rounds on the internet is Charles Barkley's and Kenny Smith's analysis of the Knicks and say how we have no good players. We have no great players on the team. He's right. Do we have any Hall of Famers on the Knicks? Do we have any Hall of Famers on the Knicks? I don't think so. I mean, all right. Let's. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be true, and no Nick Pom Poms on. Is Jalen Brunson the top 25 player? No. I think Jalen Brunson is just a player that is being used a lot, with the ball in his hand a lot. He's a really, really good player, but he's not a great player. You know how I feel about Julius Randle. His numbers are great, but he's definitely not a top 50 player. Let's go through the so the Ringer dropped top 100 players, right? For the best player on the Knicks was Jalen Brunson at 24. Jalen Brunson was at 24. The next player that they had, you know, it's funny. They show you the timeline of I guess last year, beginning of the year, and now. So I guess last year, Julius Randle was 43rd best player. At the beginning of the year, the 18th of October, he was the 40th best player. Right now, he's 54th. Folks are woke, bro. They're starting to understand who this is. R.J. Barrett is our next guy. He was 106 at the end of last year, 95 at the beginning of this year. Right now, he's 67. They have Mitchell Robinson at 88 and IQ at 95. There's no greatness there. There's no greatness there at all. Smart. These guys know how to play the game well. But I also think that wait till next year or so. They're gonna figure out Brunson. So we don't have a great player. We don't have a player we could sit here. We don't have a Trae Young. We don't have a Luka. We don't have a Shea. We don't have any one of these guys, bro. A John Morant, even a Desmond Bane. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have that level of player on our team. So we're sitting here and we're trying to figure things out, but we don't have it. We don't have a great player. Even Cleveland has Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. They have their great player. They have their superstar. Not saying Darius Garland is a Hall of Fame. I mean, Mitchell's a Hall of Famer, but we don't have that player. We don't have that level of superstar. So like we're stuck, and I'm tired of let's wait. We have these draft picks, 11 draft picks over the next 7 years. For what? Last 2 years ago, we had to give picks away. We're sitting there waiting for. I think we're just waiting for Cat. Is Cat really the guy that's gonna put us over the top? No. Who's the guy? Who's the guy that we're gonna sit here and say Zion? I don't know if Zion's gonna be the guy. I don't know if Zion is that play. He'll bring eyes to the team, but he's also off pretty injured, out here messing around with porn stars. So we don't have that player. We don't have, even the Hornets have Lonzo Ball. As much as you hate the guy and he's not a winner, the Bulls have Zach LaVine. They have that player. I think the only other roster is probably worse than us, but they have young players, are the Jazz. The Jazz is the only other. The Jazz and I want to say Washington. Those are probably the two worst rosters. I guess overall you'd probably say Charlotte too, because Charlotte has just Lonzo Ball. But look at it, like our roster sucks. I see teams like the Nets, like the Rockets, they have some young talent. They have a Fred VanVleet. They have a Jalen Green. They have a Sengun, bro. They have guys like that, young, that are offensive and can create. We don't have that. We have no high upside guys. And especially when you freaking keep on starting Quentin Grimes at the 2. Guys, I said it preseason when people were trying to tell me that Quentin Grimes was untouchable. That he was untouchable, guys. I'm telling you right now, bro, I'm done. Quentin Grimes has played 18 games this year. 18 games this year. Do you know how many points Quentin Grimes has scored in 18 games? Do you know how many points our starting 2 guard has scored in 18 games this year? 105. 105. RJ Barrett in 15 games has dropped 283. Have Isaiah Hartenstein, Mr. Energy himself, in two more games has scored 107 points. What are we doing here, guys? What are you telling me? This guy's untouchable, bro? Quentin Grimes? Quentin Grimes' stat line is this: 23 minutes a game. He's shooting 36%, right? He's 9 points, 0.9 steals, 1.7 assists, 2.8 rebounds. Untouchable. That guy is, I'm sorry, no, my bad. That's DiVincenzo. My bad, I'm getting wrong stats. 5.8 points a game, 0.8 steals a game, 2.9 assists, 1.2 assists a game, 1.3 rebounds a game. 6, 1, and 1. It's his stat line. This guy is untouchable. This guy every single game. And you have Fournier on the bench. Fournier could do better than that. Tell you that right now. But our coach is so hell-bent on being right that we sit here and refuse to play, refuse to get this guy to start lineup. I'm tired of seeing Grimes on the team, bro. I'm tired. He's not a professional. He's not an NBA player, bro. Send him to the G League. Send that boy to the G League, bro. Send that boy to the G League. So you sit there, man, and you look at all this stuff, man, and we have no talent. We have no Hall of Famers. We have no don't have it. Don't have it, bro. I don't know what to say anymore. But they're right. So, speaking of the Ringer, top 10 players. The GOAT, LeBron's at number 10. Number 9 is KD. Number 8 is Shea, the guy who I've predicted to be awesome throughout this year. So listen. So I tell you guys, listen to this podcast, bro. I know what I'll be talking about, man. Devin Booker, number 7. Number 6 is Tatum. Number 5 is Luka. Luka's putting up dumb numbers, man. Oh my God! Like yes, last night he put a triple double in the first half. That's why I do want to fight him, bro. So I got into a fight. I would try to fight him too, bro. Triple double in the first half. Giannis is number 4. Embiid is number 3. Steph number 2. Joker is number 1. Then I won't go through the entire list. The only person I think needs to be higher. 2 people, Anthony Edwards and Halliburton. I would who am I taking out? I'm taking out Devin Booker. I'll take Shea over Devin Booker. Yeah, I would take Shea right now if you give me a choice. Shea or Devin Booker, give me Shea. Devin Booker's a cool guy. He's a great player. But it's just like I don't know. It's just something to me that's off. Something to me, like he's a great scorer, assassin, mama mentality. But it's just I don't know. I don't know. I'll take I'll take Shea. Shea to me is a more efficient player. Just smoother player. Yeah, I'll take Shea. Says it's me. Not that I don't like Booker. At this point on the Knicks, I'll take either way. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know who. Both elite. But right now, if you put a gun to my head and say, Ron, pick one of these players, I'm picking Shea. I think Shea's one of the top 5 players. He's one of the guys. He's one of the guys I would take over anybody in the league. Like if I could take anyone in this league right now, age is a factor. So guys like Steph are not, and LeBron are not in it. KD is not in it. I think Shea's number 1 for me. I think it's Shea. Shea and Luka maybe, and Anthony Edwards. Yeah, I think those guys are the top 3. I can't forget Halliburton. So in this same list, Halliburton's number 12. Jimmy Butler's 11. I don't think that's too high for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's not left. It's not the. See, there's 2 guys they've picked based on history. Is Jimmy Butler and Anthony Davis. Guys, Anthony Davis is done. I watched him in that against the Suns the other day. He's a waste man. Oh my God, he's a waste man. The Lakers are going to regret signing him to that contract. Oh my God, he's a waste man. Oh, horrible player. I'm sorry. I mean, and I mean this in the nicest way. I hope he's hurt, because if he's 100% playing this way, then we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. Big trouble. Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't pick him. Can't mess with him. I can't call him the 13th best player in the league. He's not. And you put Anthony Edwards 14, De'Aaron Fox 15, Dame 16. No. I pick a lot of players ahead of Anthony Davis right now. Nonetheless. Yeah, so I think Halliburton. See, I want to talk about Halliburton that much because of he should have been a Knicks point guard. I just don't understand how this team operates. You have Randall dominating. You have all these guys down there, and you choose to pick Obi Toppin, who's out the league, off the team by now. We could have had Halliburton, bro. If you had Halliburton, and guys, let's keep it a buck. Halliburton's better than Jalen Brunson. If you had Halliburton, you wouldn't need to get Jalen Brunson. Or could have been a backcourt of Jalen Brunson and Halliburton. If you had Halliburton, you probably wouldn't need to get could have got Donovan Mitchell, and that's a tough backcourt. The problem with the Knicks now is like Donovan Mitchell is they're saying, oh, we're getting Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson backcourt will get abused. Both guys are like 6'2" and under. They will get abused wherever they are. So we can't get Donovan Mitchell. As much as I appreciate Jalen Brunson for what he's doing, his size handcuffs what we can do in terms of that backcourt. We need a bigger guard. This is why I thought we should have went after DeJounte Murray. He's been the perfect guy in that backcourt to guard their bigger guard. But we were asleep at the wheel. Nonetheless, yeah, I think Halliburton is box office. I mean, I'll pump the brakes. He's putting numbers up this year and a lot of energy, and you know, he has some of the best, most efficient game. Like his game is so efficient. His game is so nice. And I think that he's the guy. He's the guy right now. I'm gonna sit him and put him above Dame and above guys like Anthony Edwards, who has been doing it for a lot longer. Not a lot longer, but doing it for a couple years. I feel like this has been his breakout season. But I think that he has the ability to do it, and it could be that guy. I just don't like talking about him as much because it just gives me Steph Curry vibes, and it gives me drafting Frank Nicotilina, all this type of stuff. So I don't want to talk about him too much, but he's definitely balling. He's definitely balling, and I really want to sit there and give him respect. I think he should be top 10 player right now in the NBA. I think he should be one of the top guys in the league, especially for what he's doing in Indiana. He needs to. He definitely gets my respect and my props. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. Take out Anthony Davis. You gotta put. I don't know where, but I would at least put Halliburton and Edwards above Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's not a superstar, guys. He's a serviceable, good player. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes, respectfully, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. So I have to give it to him, but I think yeah, that's my only gripe. Edwards, Halliburton should be in at least ahead of Jimmy Butler and Anthony Davis. But it takes a long time until we find a Knicks player. Knicks player at 24, and that's Jalen Brunson. Ahead of guys like Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown. That's a good discussion. Jaylen Brown or Jalen Brunson. I don't like Jaylen Brown. I always thought he was a waste man. I always thought he was a bum. But I'm not a big. I love Jalen Brunson, but I just know he's limited. So I can't sit here and be like, yeah, I take Jalen, because of his size. He's not that guy for me. The Jalen Brunson, I saw a graphic this week of Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown over 2 games had 43 shots, 0 assists. 43 shots, attempts, 0 assists over a 2-game span. This is a guy making like $70 million a year. 0 assists. Nah, bro. Listen. But you know what it is? And this is the problem with the NBA. He got paid. So why work on this game? This was who he was. This was who he was the entire time, but they chose to pay him. So he sit there and like, all right, why am I even trying? So I'm not a Jaylen Brown fan. I don't like his game. I don't like the Celtics. As much as people saying that they're a guarantee for the NBA Finals, we've seen this before from the Celtics. There's regular season stuff. We've seen this before. It's just when it comes down to playoffs, they come against the Miami again. They come against the right team. They're gonna get stopped. They go against the Nuggets in the finals. They're gonna get stopped. The problem is these coaches that they have are not able to exploit their issues. They always struggle against Miami. You know why? Spoelstra's a top 5 coach. And said, I know what you're gonna do, and I'm gonna stop it. Simple, bro. I think this year if they go against Philly, Nick Nurse is a good coach. They're gonna get stopped. Someone sitting there, some of the Steelers are going to the finals. Nah. This is reason why. You have guys like Tatum. You guys got like Drew Holiday, who's struggling, by the way. You have all these guys within your offense. And you're going to tell me you're going to take 43 shots and have 0 assists over a 2-game span? 20-plus shots a game, 21 and a half shots a game, 22 shots a game, but 0 assists? And you're supposed to be a leader, one of the best players on your team? Nah, man. To me, you're a waste man. You're a waste man, bro, if you're doing all that, bro. That's corny. That's corny, bro. You can't do that. To him, he's always been overrated. I did say I wanted him on the Knicks. You know why? I know we needed a big 2 guard. There are not that many wings available. I'm being honest. He could help the Knicks out. We need some wings. We need some talents. We need some killers. But we have enough no assist guys in Julius Randle that we're gonna sit here and replace him with another no assist guy. Because then teams collapse on you. You turn over the ball because they know you're not going to pass. Jaylen Brown don't deserve to be a jock. He's not that nice, guys. He's not top 20. He's not top 20 in the NBA. I don't care what the Ringer says. He's not top 20 in the NBA. Sorry. 43 shots, no assists over a 2-game span. Cut that. Cut it out, bro. Cut it out, man. So, yeah, man. So talk to me. Talk to me in the comments. Talk to me in the on TikTok. Talk to me on Twitter. What do you think about the top players in the game? What do you think about the Ringer? Who'd you pick, Booker or Shea? And how do we fix these Knicks, man? But thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to share, follow, comment, all that good stuff. I love y'all guys, man. God bless y'all. Peace.